Hello everyone, welcome to Gosport Railworks. My name's James and today we'll be continuing on with my, SECR P-Class build, which I'm quite pleased with how the Shapeways model has come out. Fortunately, I'm not impressed with the price it would charged me for shipping, so yeah, I'll be putting it up on Shapeways. You can buy it if you want. I'll be trying to make it as cheap as possible, but unfortunately shipping at the moment for the UK is quite high. Like I said, this cost me, well, the actual model itself about £7, maybe about £8, I can't quite remember. Shipping £17. Yeah, not impressed. So yes, I have been also thinking of putting up a Patreon, and I may put the STL file for this up on there as well, just so that it's a little bit extra something for people to have if they do support me on Patreon. Yeah, if I set up a Patreon, that is, because I have been tempted to do that. But anyway, let's get on with the build. Here is the little P-Class, and like I said, the print has turned out rather well. The only thing which I did have to change on the model so far is, if I just zoom in even more, because it's very little, and I get something to point with, that will do. I did have to put a little, can't quite see it because it's clear, a little bit of a bracing over the, I think that's safety valve. Yes, it should be a safety valve. So yeah, that's the only thing which I did have to do. But to be honest, it actually does look somewhat pretty typical as well, because I have seen pictures of a P-Class with a little safety valve like that, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'll be doing that. One thing which I will be editing on the version which goes out to the public is I'll be making the body a bit more longer this way. I'll be stretching it out a little bit more that way, because otherwise you get a slight gap in between the body and the chassis. But otherwise it's not all that bad. For what I'll be doing for my particular one is I'll be just using plastic card just to fill in that gap. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I have got the smoke box door. This is from the Terrier, and yeah, it's a bit big, but again, I can just trim it down. I may make a version of this with the smoke box door filled in, but I haven't quite worked out how to do a good smoke box door as of yet, so that's why I've left it as it is. For the chassis, the only thing which you mainly have to do is cut off, well, first of all, get the NEM pocket out, because you actually need that later. It's basically get some scissors and basically cut down the length of the back here. You'll know which bit to cut off, and that is basically from this lug hole to this lug hole, and that's it really. As you can see, I've already made a start to it, and it's very easy to cut through it, because you just need some scissors and being very careful. That's basically it, and that frees up the space just to do all the other work to it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a BR black version of the chassis because they're all out of stock, so yeah, I'm doing with the SECR version. I will be painting it black. The next thing, actually I'll zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. Next thing which you need to do is remove, remove the back part of the chassis itself, because it's just plastic. Just be very careful doing so. There's that bit done. There's that bit done. I'll tidy that up as well. And yeah, most of the work is just basically getting the NEM pocket now to fit in back up there. This should still work. Where's my battery? There it is. Yep, it does not affect the running of the actual loco. And the last bit to do, for other than fitting the NEM pocket there, is actually a couple of bits. Remove this rodding at the bottom here, because we don't need it, and also basically clean this lot up, basically make it so it's just the buffers, and then glue that onto the back, and that's it really. And then you can just work on decorating the P-Class body itself. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing, and yeah, I'll see you in a bit once I've done it all. Oh yeah, you do need to get very small lettering. As you can see here, this is the Fox Transfers Pack FR82027. It's a 2mm N scale lettering. I have no idea how big the actual lettering is. I think that's too small for me to read, but I'll be using that to do the numbering. I will be painting it in BR black. It'll be plain black because doing livery lining on this will be absolutely a nightmare. But yeah, you do have the option to make it into whatever livery you want to. Most of my work, however, will be actually just painting this, and also maybe modifying the sandboxes here so they're a bit more smoother. Unfortunately, it's not going to be exactly like how the P-Class is, but it'll look more like it than the Terrier would have done. So yeah, I'm going to get to work with that, and I'll see you in a bit. The South Eastern and Chatham Railway P-Class is a class of 060 steam locomotive designed by Harry Wainwright. They are inspired by and loosely based on the more successful LBSCR A1 class Terriers, and 8 were built in 1909 and 1910. They were originally intended for lightweight passenger trains to replace underpowered steam rail motors. Certain cost-saving design compromises have been made. Compared to the Terrier design, the P-Class were found to be underpowered, having only 73% of the Terrier's tractive effort. The P-Class were later reallocated to sunting and station pilot duties. The first 2 locomotives, built in 1909, were numbered 753 and 754. The 1910 built locomotives were used numbers of redrawn locomotives and were numbered 27, 178, 323, 325, 555 and 558. In 1915, 2 locomotives were transferred to the government and used by the Railway Operating Division, arriving in France in May 1915. They were initially used during the construction of exchange sidings, and later to shunt the sidings and docks, but they proved to have insufficient power and were returned to England in October 1916 to be replaced with the SECR T-Class locomotive. All 8 passed to the Southern Railway upon its formation in 1923 and were given an A prefix to the SECR numbers. In 1925, A753 and A754 were renumbered A556 and A557. In 1923, Southern abolished the number prefixes and increased the P-Class numbers by 1,000. Upon nationalisation in 1948, British Railways added 30,000 to their Southern Railway number. Withdrawals took place between 1955 and 1961, but 4 examples have been preserved. Right, here we are with my new P-Class on my Gosport layout, just to give it a quick run round. And yeah, I think it looks quite nice. Unfortunately, I did have to cover up the windows because to get it to weigh enough, I had to put in a lot of lead tape, and the only space I had left was inside the cab. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but the only other method which I can probably do is to get it made in brass or something like that, but that'll increase the price and it's not really what I wanted. So yeah, let's have a quick run round. It has got enough weight in it anyway. Now, the original Terrier, well, the Terrier model that is, weighs about 20 grams, and this weighs just under 13, so we're losing 7 grams. But that's still enough to pull 2 coaches, and to be honest, that's all it really needs to pull, because in real life these weren't all that powerful, so the model replicates the real life prototype. So yeah, let's give it a spin round. I have actually done this already, so I already know it can go around. It's a bit iffy on the back, there, but that's the place where I need to clean. I say that as it has a slight moment. I'm going to bring it to a stop. But yeah, I said I'm quite happy with how this kit has turned out. Like I said, there's a few changes which I'll be doing before this goes straight up onto Shapeways for people to buy, and I'm still not pleased with the Shapeways shipping being expensive. The best I can do is just make this as cheap as possible, but shipping I can't really deal with. So the only alternative, like I said, is if I put it up on if I have my own Patreon, I'll make it something which you can get rather cheaply, and then you can print it yourself if you have the facilities to do so. But yeah, other than that, as I said, I hope everyone enjoys this video, and I hope you've enjoyed this build. I will be doing more little things like this now and then, mainly because it's a lot more fun than just building kits. I build my own kits now. So yeah, anyway, hope to see you again next time, and don't forget to subscribe, comment and like the video if you want to. If not, hope you enjoyed it anyway. Anyway, let's send the P-Class off on its way. The first of hopefully many more models. See you again next time, everyone. Bye bye.